Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Edna and Harvey, and this video is going to cover the first type of collectible, which is going to be the graffiti. So starting off, this is right after you escape your cell at the beginning of the game. Make sure you make your way into the office. There is the first tool you are going to need for this achievement, which is going to be the ballpoint pen. Make sure you grab it. Before you grab it, make sure you talk to it though, because that has its own separate achievement that we don't want to miss. So talk to the pen, and then after you talk to it, make sure you grab it using the take command. That should add it to our inventory, and then we are going to finish up the first part of the game, which requires us to escape the fourth floor. Once you have free range of the asylum, make sure you start heading down the stairwell. You're going to keep going down until you get to the bottommost floor, which is going to be the basement. So just keep heading down the stairwell until there are no more stairs. Once you hit the bottommost floor, make sure you head into this door in the back left. This should take you to the cafeteria. Grab the bottle of ketchup and the bottle of mustard on this table, and now we should have all of our tools we need to start making some graffiti. Alright, now that we have all three things we can use to make some graffiti, we are going to start grabbing all of the collectibles. So we're going to head back up the stairwell, and you want to make sure you keep heading up until you get to the third floor. It should be the floor with the security office. Instead of heading there, you want to make sure you wrap around into the hallway, and then you want to make sure you go into this door on the right. This is going to be the break room. It's where you need to go in order to get the cornflakes to get the police badge. But in here, there is going to be a sink. What you want to do is you want to make sure you equip the ketchup and then interact with it using the sink. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure you do the same with the mustard. Most of the graffiti objects in the game are going to be sinks and tables. So make sure you knock these two out of the way right here. Make sure you use the ketchup and the mustard at least once each on the sink. After that, we're going to head back up to the fourth floor. So make sure you go up one flight of stairs, and then we are going to head back to this hallway. Head into the room on the left, since the one on the right is locked. This should take us back to the doctor's office. We are going to head all the way back to our cell, which is where the game started. So head back through the vent. Make sure you go to the right until you can exit out of where we came from. Once in here, you want to make sure you use the ketchup and the mustard on the table. Even though you can't see it, just make sure you get it anyways. So you pretty much spray the top of the table, but you won't be able to look at what it is. Just make sure you spray it once each with each item, and you should knock that towards the list. This is also going to be the first furniture item we can use the ballpoint pen on. So make sure once you ketchup and mustard it, make sure you switch to the ballpoint pen. Interact with the same table using the ballpoint pen, and you should write Edna was here on said table. Then it's going to be our cue to leave the way we came. So just head back through the vent, and that should put you back in the office eventually. Once in here, there's going to be a ton of stuff to graffiti, so pay close attention so you don't miss anything. First up, you have the desk. Make sure you ketchup and mustard it, and that should take care of the first thing. Then what you want to do is you want to make sure you switch over to the pen again, and you want to make sure you ballpoint pen the desk. That should write some graffiti on the side. Then with the pen still equipped, you want to make sure you get the desk chair, so make sure you scribble on that. Then you want to make sure you go to the back right corner of the room, and you want to make sure you get the cabinet, so make sure you scribble the little smiley face on that. And then the next one is another one that happens off camera, so be a little careful not to miss this one. You have to open up the cabinet, which is where we placed one of the security guard dudes earlier, and you want to make sure you interact with his unconscious body using the pen. Again, it's off screen, so you can't really see it, but make sure you do that. And of course, close the cabinet back up once you are done. Then we're going to go back to the ketchup and mustard, and you want to make sure you ketchup and mustard both the diploma as well as the trophy case. So make sure you do one of each condiment on both of these things in the office, and that should take care of everything here. So you should have the desk, the chair, the cabinet, the guy in the cabinet, as well as the diploma and trophy case. That should actually wrap it up for all of those collectibles on the first half of the asylum. Once you start the second half, you are going to play through the story until you use the laundry travel system. Once you've used it for the first time, you should be in this room. Once you're here, what you want to do is you want to equip the ballpoint pen, and then you want to use it on the poster in the middle of the room with the 3 coat hangers on it. Make sure you leave, and then you should be in this hallway. head into the room on the bottom right, which should be the bathroom. Make sure you turn on the lights. It is part of a puzzle that we have to do later on towards the end of this segment of the game. Once the lights are on, what you want to do is want to make sure you go over to these 3 sinks. You have to ketchup and mustard all 3 of them. It's a little tedious, but my best advice is to equip one, go through all 3, and then switch to the other, and then get all 3. So make sure you just catch up all 3, switch to the mustard, use all 3. And of course, you are going to listen to the same psycho shower scene joke all 3 times. So make sure you get through that, and then we can move on. This is going to be a little later on in the segment. This is after you take care of the bartender and swipe his shovel from the back. You are basically going to take this shovel back to the other side of the asylum. So basically, you're going to use the laundry travel system, and you are going to end up back on the other side. So make sure you use it and then ride it 2 stops. Along the way, what you want to do is you want to make sure you equip the ketchup in the little intermission scene, and you want to make sure you spray the guy in the umbrella here. This is part of the story since this is how you get his coat hanger, but you might as well knock it out of the way here if you really want to, so you don't really have to worry about missing this one, since once again you have to spray him with the ketchup later on anyways. But whatever the case, once you manage to land on the stop you desire, which is going to be the basement, make sure you head back up the ladder. This should put you back on the original side of the asylum. What you want to do basically is you are supposed to take the shovel that we stole from the bartender and then bring it back down here where the furnace is. You're supposed to give it to the people digging this hole right here. Basically, you just hand them the shovel after talking to them, and then what you have to do is you have to make sure you leave 2 screens and then come back. So back up the ladder and then back out the door, and then what you want to do is you want to make sure you turn around and then head back into the furnace room and then back down the ladder, and then after all this time has elapsed, they should have dug up this small pile of dirt. Make sure you pick it up, and you should get the clay that you need to solve the next puzzle, which is to make the master key mold. Now, part of this puzzle is trying to find a sink where you can wet the dirt to turn it into a moldable piece of clay. So to do that, what you have to do is you have to make sure you head back to the stairwell. So just follow the hallway and then head back up here. Then make sure you go down towards the screen. That should put you back in the basement. And then just make sure you climb the stairs all the way up to the 3rd floor from earlier. And then what you want to do is make sure you go into the hallway, go into this room, which is labeled WC, which is going to be the bathroom. This is going to be the sink where you are going to make the mold. However, you can also ketchup and mustard this one. So make sure you do so, and you should actually get an achievement right here, which is going to be en route to the big achievement that we're going for. So once you catch up and mustard this sink, you should get Big Litter Bug for 100 gamer score. And then we have one last thing we need to graffiti, which is going to take place later on in this segment. This is right after you get to the one guy to give you the electroshock therapy. As soon as you get that done, you are supposed to head over to group therapy. So just head down all the way to the bottom of the stairs where the basement is, head through the cafeteria. Instead of going to the back left door, we are going to head to the front left door, which should take you to a hallway that leads up to group therapy. And then along the way in this hallway is going to be some portraits. Make sure you go to the leftmost portrait, which is going to be the main bad guy of the game. Make sure you equip your ballpoint pen and then graffiti that up. And then you also want to ketchup and mustard this. And this is going to be the last thing of graffiti we need towards our last achievement. So make sure you just pop all 3 in, and your achievement should pop. There it is, Little Mucky Pup, 100 gamer score. So that's 2 achievements and all of this type of collectible, and that's all there is to it.